Everybody, welcome back to the dumbest bat cave on all of YouTube, Pit Stain Hobbies. We've got some more 66 Batmobile here. We've got our fourth, fifth, with, I don't know. We got our big shipment. So this is when they start sending you 6 stages per box, which is very nice. Let's get that out of the way. There we go. Now the reason this box is so big is not because of the parts. It's because of your first free gift, which is the posters. And I'm just glad they're not like folded up or anything, because they, we get those life-size pictures of the builds, and they're folded up. I mean, obvious reasons. They're not going to use tubes to ship those and roll them like nice posters, which would be awesome. What is this here? Oh, it's like a folder. Okay. The folder itself looks pretty nice, actually. But yeah, let's see what we get here. We've got watch out, old chum. Pretty nice printing quality, I gotta say. Little glamour shots by Deb of Adam West, all garbed up. Very nice. And that's probably my favorite one here. Look at that. Pulling some maneuvers in the Batmobile. That's probably doing a bat turn. But yeah, that's cool. We'll put those somewhere safe, which is basically nowhere in my basement. And then we've got packs 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, and more of these adorable comic book sized instruction manuals. Very nice. Let's just hold on a second. Okay, there we go. Neatly put away the box. Okay, much carefully. This looks like all engine and transmission stuff, so that should be fun. We'll get pack 9 out. I'm going to put these aside, and we will be right back. Okie dokie. Got our parts out here. And we're going to take a little valve cover here. Let's get this cylinder head out of here. Take the cylinder head just like this. Take the valve cover like that. And if you get it on there right, it'll be pretty flush with the front there, and it'll hang over the back a little bit here. And we just need to get 2 AP screws right there and there, and I'll be back in a sec. Alright, so that's bolted on. What we want to do is take our exhaust manifold here, put it right in like that, and 2 AM screws. And the M screws, we're always going to dip into a bit of 3-in-1 oil just to make sure. Well, that actually threads in really nice. Don't go crazy over tightening this. You don't want to crack the plastic tab there. You just want it nice and snug. Snug. Okay. Oh, holy sore back, Batman. I was carrying boxes of tile around the other day, and I'm still all beaten up from it. Oh man, there we go. And we're gonna take this radiator feeding pipe, as the instructions declare it to be. First, let's just go over here. Yeah, it's just gonna shove into this little hole in your hole. Go in your hole. Come on. There we go. Nice snug fit in there. I don't think it's going anywhere. I'm not concerned. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, it should be pretty close to the exhaust manifold. That doesn't seem like a great idea in real life. And we got to take a couple of CM screws and put them in, and then take them back out. They just want us to basically do that to thread the holes for future assembly. So give me a sec, I'll be right back. Okay, that threading went fine. The little 3-in-1 oil. Now we got these little spark plugs, and we want to snip them off of their little parts tree. And they give us 5, but we only need 4. So we'll save the spare just in case we lose one. So they are little fiddly things. And then you want to get them into these 4 holes in the bottom here. Just like that, all 4. Be right back. Alright, those are done. And now what we want to do is fit this to our previously assembled part of the engine block, just like that. And then the 2 CM screws are going to go there and there. And I'm going to get those in. We'll be back in a sec. Okay, so cylinder head's on. And then we've got our little bundle of tubing that was it's super mangled. I already started straightening it out. But if you want to see, I'm going full full Chad here, but you can watch it. There we go. That's good enough. You could use a hair dryer. You could use a space heater. You could probably even use like really hot water. But we just want to like warm it up so it straightens itself out, because it is super kinked up when it comes out of the package, but it's kind of to be expected. Now you got to cut it into 4 lengths, and these pictures on here are actual size. I measured them. The 70, 80, 90, and 100 millimeter are right. And then we're going to do our 22 gauge craft wire trick, and we're going to cut 4 lengths of this craft wire that are also going to be just a little shorter than these. We're going to go probably about 6 millimeters or so shorter than all the tubes, and then we're going to shove this into the tubes. I'll be right back with that. One sec. Okay, so I already did 3 of the wires, 3 of the hoses with the wires, so we're just going to take, this is our 100 millimeter tube, and this is like a 94 millimeter piece of 22 gauge craft wire, and we just put her in the hole. Just shove that right in there and get it flush. Then take your spare spark plug and use the tip of it to push the wire into the hole. And now what you got is just a little bit of spare hose on each end with the craft wire in there, and boom, now you can, you know, very specifically bend those wires and they'll hold their positions, which is exactly what we want. All right, one sec. Let me see what's next on these instructions. Let me keep those in their length orientation. We're probably gonna, we're gonna push all the wires on, starting with the longest one at the front and going into the distributor cap. So let me get that started. I'll be right back. Okay, well, there's our plug wires in. I really don't like doing those. They're just fiddly. But that's it for this stage. So that's 9 done and dusted. Let's get out 10. We got some extra tube left over. You can hold on to that. That's 11. Here's 10. Okay. Different little parts. Let's get these out of the bag, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is going to be mostly intake manifold and carburetor. So we're going to take this. I said carburetor. Carburetor. Nice. Okay, that's a nice tight fit. That squeezes in like that. Then we've got to go and put this onto the intake manifold with 4 AP screws, just the corners. Leave those middle 2 ones untouched. I'll be right back after some twisting of the screws. One sec. Okay, so that's screwed on just like that. We're going to take these 2 parts that look very similar. One has a peg coming out of the middle of it, and the other one has a peg coming out of the side. The one with the peg coming out of the side is going to go on that side, and then this one will go on the other side. Let's see, maybe it doesn't go like that. Maybe I got it upside down. Hard to tell. Let's see. There we go. It was upside down. Okay. Push them in firmly and make sure they're aligned. So like that. Then we got to push. So I already did this off camera, actually. There's a long tube and a less long tube. The long one you want to cut into 2 60 millimeter lengths. There we go. There we go. Okay. There we go. and get that pushed onto there. I didn't put any wire inside of this one because I don't think it really has to make too many tight bends. So that's fine. Then we're going to take this piece of the carburetor just like that, and we're going to lay it down so we get it on the 2 pegs. Oh, this thing needs to align with so many holes. Yeah, there's a hole there, and then these 2 pegs here, and we have to get all 3 of those to go in together. Easier said than done. Oh! Okay, parts are flying. Be right back. Well, that was delightful. If you can see, 1, 2 pins right there, and then the 3rd pin is coming off the bottom of this plate. You just gotta slowly wiggle and finagle it until it finally goes into place. But it does eventually go into place. It's just... oh, maybe if my bottom plate was screwed down all the way onto the manifold, that would have helped. There we go. So that's most of the carburetor right there. Jeez. Woof. Okay, that was a trial. Now we're going to fit together the top of the carburetor. So we've got more parts. Let's see here. Where the hell are my tweezers? There they go. We've got this thing. Little parts. Take that. Then we got to take this pipey tubey thing out of this Ziploc bag here. This little fella. And we're just going to shove that into there. That's a nice snug fit. We're going to take another part right here. Okay, the bottom half looks like. And we're going to put the little half moon pin into that little half moon hole. Snaps right together. And then we're going to take this assembly like this, and we're just going to put it down onto these 2 pinholes right here and here. That all snaps down nice and snug. And there's the carburetor for the most part. There's probably a couple little bits and pieces to go still. Let's see here. Just some tiny parts here, man. Itty bitty parts. Now we're going to take this little L bracket with the tube on it. And this looks like the carburetor linkage or something. I don't know. Throttle linkage. Take it like this and put it right onto there. Again, a nice snug fit once again. And we got to screw this down right here with an AP screw. So I'll be right back. Just right there. One sec. Okay, so that little bracket's screwed on. It only goes on one way. And then we took our little vacuum tube block with the pin offset this way. We put our other 60mm piece on there, and we took the longer one that we have, 10M, and put it on there, and we're going to push it into this tiny little hole here. So let's just get that in there, and that clicks into place nicely, and now this is what we should have. Now that that's done, we're going to bolt this way. And we're going to take this bracket 10B with the longer, taller post facing this way and screw that down with 2 more AP screws. So give me a sec. Okay, so now that that's on there, we're going to take our engine block. We're going to place this right there. We're going to put 1 DM screw in that hole. And then I think that's got to be it for the stage. No, there's a little more work to do. So be right back. Okay, so we're just taking our two 60mm vacuum lines and just routing them back to, this is the vacuum timing advance, probably, I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm not an old car engine expert. I just know they're old and they're big. But yeah, that's it. That's it for this stage. On to 11. Lots of work to do in this pack of parts. Let's see what we got. Here we go. Oh, the other half of the engine block and some other little bits and pieces. There we go. Get that out of there. Make sure all your bags are empty because the screws hide underneath the parts boxes. We got some more lovely bits. All right, let's get started on this. I'll be back in 1 sec. Okay, so we got to build the engine mount. So we're going to take this piece like that and take this piece like that. Hard to see the little black parts. And then one AM screw in that hole. 1 sec. Okay, so take the other half of the engine block with our freshly minted engine mount. Put that on there. Hold that in place, and then one AM screw right in there. Make sure you keep the engine mount straight while tightening. Good and snug, nice and straight. Ish. There we go. Fine. Being able to move it a tiny bit by hand, like with some force, is actually not a bad thing, because when we go to mount her into the frame rails, you might need to wiggle it just a little bit. Couldn't help it. Sorry. I said it. Now we need the oil pump. Is that this little black doohickey? Yes, it is. That's the oil pump. That's going to go right in this hole. And it's angled. And it is a snug fit. Ugh. Very snug fit. Why so snug? Would you shrink your jeans in the wash? It doesn't want to go in. That plastic is a little bit big, or the hole is a little bit small. Let me see what I can do. I'll be right back. Okay, so the hole, I think, got filled up with a whole bunch of paint. Now I took a 2mm drill bit and I just gently spun it in there to clear out the paint. I made the hole a tiny bit too big because now the part fits perfect, but it's a little bit loose. So we're just gonna take our friend Mr. CA glue, a little CA in that hole, put her in there, and you should be good to go. Yours might fit right in. I don't know. Mine was it was either the peg was a little big for the hole or the hole was closed up with paint. The latter was most likely the case. And again, a 2mm, I would measure something just a hair smaller than that. And that'll probably work if you have the same issue getting that in. Now, let's see here. They want us to bolt the oil pan onto this part of the engine block. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We got two posts here that look like they're perfect. And we're going to get two AP screws right in there. So I'll be right back. 1 sec. Okay, so that's screwed together and our little oil pump hose is plugged into its other peg. And let's get this fuel pump put together. Not much left in here. What is that? Oil filter? Probably. And the fuel pump has a little D-shaped or half-moon shaped peg, and it just goes like that. We take the hose, shove her onto the end right there. And I'm going to trim this to fit later if I need to, and or add some craft wire inside of it. We shall see on the next instructions where, we're not connecting it to anything just yet. So we do have to push the fuel pump assembly onto the front of the block here. So this is a mechanical fuel pump. And the little, oil filter. Yeah, that goes right there. There we go. Okay, nice and easy so far. Not easy. Little tiny parts. That's 11. Here's 12. Looks like we're doing the other valve cover and some more plug hoses. Really nothing new there, so I'm just going to knock that out real quick and be right back. Okay, so that cylinder head was basically identical, except you got one slightly different piece of plastic that goes in there. Now what we're going to do is attach it to this side of the engine block. Same way, 2 CM screws in right there and there. Let me get those in, and I'll be right back. All right, so that's bolted together. Now what we got to do is put the block together along with our previously assembled transmission. And this fella will just hook on to that, like that. And then this side, snap onto this side, and we got to get 1 and then 2 CM screws in. So let me do that, and I'll be back in a sec. So there's the majority of the engine and transmission built. I got to do the 4 spark plug wires going over to here. So that's actually the longest process. It's so slow for me, is futzing with all these little tiny tubes. But you want to be accurate. You got to have spark plug wires. Can't just leave those out. It's sort of like a bad omission. I keep saying omission. Like omit one. And this, look at that. Yeah. Time for the hair dryer / heat gun trick again. I will be right back. You're not alone. I hate doing spark plug wires also. But they're done. They're a little ugly. But I never open the hood on these models almost ever. So I'm just... Yeah, I hate the spark plug wires. Actually, another company, we all know who they are, did spark plug wires that were actual metal-filled wire, and instead of having pins to put them on, they had holes for them to go into, and that was so much better. So much better. Oh my God. I almost enjoyed those spark plug wires. Those were not bad at all. Here's more Batman encyclopedic evidence, informations, all these things. There's some nasty cats, and Catwoman looks like the housekeeper just got really militant in that early comic book instance of her. We got pack 13 here. Looks like some front drive accessories for the motor. So that's quite nice. Let me get those unbagged, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to take this front timing cover, stick the dipstick tube into its little D-shaped hole right there. I'm going to put this little cap on here. Looks like the oil filler, but who knows? I am an idiot. And we're going to just put this right on there. Snap that onto that. Seems wrong. Oh, it's got to go in front. There we go. It's got to go in front of the dipstick. Hey, that fits so much better now. Look at that. There we go. Perfect. And we're going to offer that up to the front of the engine. Like so. And we got to get 3 AM screws in those 3 holes. Give me one sec. You know the drill. All right, so we got to get bracket 08H. That was back from stage 8. We're going to push it onto this post on the timing cover. Align that. And then we got to stick the water pump in here. We got to get this long UP screw through here. It's a little tricky. Let's see if we can do this without completely screwing up. And there we go. Nice and snug. Then we need to get an AM screw from our generator into that little support arm. And that takes a little bit. And there we go. Okay, so the water pump is on there. Oops, sorry. Camera angling. Framing in. Framing. There we go. Okay. And now we got to build the main pulley. So we got to put together the crank pulley, which is just sandwiching. 13J. And then all these look very similar. So let me identify. Not sure which ones. Let's see. That has a... Is that a J? No, that's a... It's not an I. Is that a 3? I have no idea. Oh yeah, the 3s. Yeah. So we put the 2 3s on there. It's quite the crate pulley. Then we put this guy on there, which doesn't have any holes except the center. And then we take F. We put the flat side facing out. Shove her onto the main crankshaft. My God. That is a tight squeeze. It's just extremely... Am I doing something wrong? Hold on a second. Way too tight of a fit. I just took a round file and the center of this black piece. I just a little persuading there. And now I'm just going to refit all these other parts on here. It happens. They design everything very exactly, you know, in like AutoCAD or whatever, and then they go and they add paint, and they don't realize that it's going to potentially cause a clearance issue. You know, but it happens. It's fine. You know, paint taking up space on models is quite possibly the most common problem with any part work. And that's how you deal with it. You redo your clearance. Take one of these flanged screws and hold that. Now that is damn near the thickest crank pulley I have ever seen. That's a lot of grooves on there. So many. Because they didn't use serpentine belts back in the day when these engines were made. And a serpentine belt would go around multiple things and snake all over the place. They just used regular, you know, V-shaped belts. So quite often you'd have a separate belt for every damn front accessory. So if it had, you know, it has the water pump, it has the generator or alternator, and then the generator on this has 2 grooves on it, because why not? It was Lincoln, you know, so they were building a fancy motor. That's probably why all of the extra grooves. But that is one long pulley to be hanging off the snout of your crankshaft. Seems like a potential failure item. That's it. That's it for that stage. That's 13 done. Oh, it's the last one. 14. Wow, doing 6 packs of all the engine stuff. That's a good amount of parts. And now we're going to do radiator fan and fan belts and some more little front accessories. Fun. I'll be right back with all the parts. Alright, so here's all the parts for the power steering pump. I'm going to take this little metal bracket like that. It's got a little peg. It's hard to see those things. There we go. Peg right there. That goes into that hole. And then we want to get one AM screw in that hole. If only I was prepared with my screwdriver ready to go. But I was not. Yeah, it's just about tight enough. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the back of the power steering pump pulley. Where are my BP screws? There they are. Need one of those. Take the back of the power steering pump and take the front of it. They're keyed. They can only go in one way. And take that little BP screw and get that shoved into the back hole there. Yep. And nice and snug. You can put this little reservoir cap on there, the little reservoir. And we put it through the bracket. Let me take this tiny little pulley, put that on the front, and get this little flanged RP screw on there. Come on. This is painful. These little bits. I feel like I've early onset arthritis going on here. That's all it is. It's just, I've been working on this thing for a while today. And my hands are cramping up. That's all tightened in, and that's our power steering pump assembly. Now we're going to get onto the fan. I'll be right back with those parts. Alrighty. Well, we got our little belt on there also. It's on the third groove. Not the rearmost, but the third one, and then around the pump. And now we're going to start on our radiator fan. One sec. Okay. So now for the radiator fan, we're going to take this piece just like that. Push that on there. Take this piece with the tube, and it's got a couple little grooves on the back of it that are going to fit in to that pulley. We're going to take this piece with the lump facing up. You can see that. See that little lump at the top? We're going to put that on there. Then our fan we're going to assemble. So now the fan, we're going to have all the blades facing out. And not this piece first, this one. We're going to take it like that. On the back of here, you get some little clips. So we got to snap that one. You know what? There we go. Just like that. And then this one goes this way. That way. And that snaps onto there. And so this is your finished product. Looks pretty nice. I like. And that has a keyed section. It only fits on one way. And holding on to our transmission, get this RP screw in here. Stay. Good fan. And there we go. Oh, and it turns and everything. Cool. I may need to tighten this up a little more. Oh, it still turns. Look at that. That's nice. And all the pulleys line up. Now it's probably time to put on more more of the fan belts. Okay, so now we're going to do a double belt. We're going to go around, we're going to go around the 2 pulleys here, the 2 on here, and the front 2 on the crank. So that's what we got to do. And I'm probably going to do the rear rubber band first. And getting this around the fan, not so hard. And we'll get it onto the back of that pulley and around the generator, and then into the second groove on the crank pulley, and then the same with the other rubber band. So we're going to go get it around the fan. Then we're going to go over the generator and find my tweezers and find my tweezers. And of course, they're in the manual. And then we're going to take this belt and get it around that front pulley there. And then there. Now you got double belts. And that is it. I think there's probably a couple more little things that we need to put on here. I think there's maybe another carburetor going on here. That sure looks like it, or something. But that is it for stage 14. Oh boy, that was fun. Got our engine pretty much done at this point. So that's nice. Hey, either way, thank you for watching. As always, it's a blast having you here. Click the links below to go to Fanhome to subscribe and see my Amazon store and all that other stuff where I buy all my tools and equipment and things. Either way, have a nice day, everybody. Adios.